This podcast is brought to you by HEC Paris.
There's actually some other examples of things that went wrong. Motrin, for example, is a pain reliever. Motrin is a pain reliever. No, it's the other one. Motrin is a pain reliever, and it's more or less the same thing as this example. I'll show it to you.
Wearing your baby seems to be in fashion. I mean, in theory, it's a great idea. There's the front baby carrier, the sling, the swing, the wrap, the pouch, and who knows what else they've come up with. Wear the baby on your side, your front, go hands-free. Supposedly, it's a real bonding experience. They say that babies carried close to the bod tend to cry less than others. But what about me? Do moms that wear their babies cry more than those who don't? I sure do. These things put a ton of strain on your back, your neck, your shoulders. Did I mention your back? I mean, I'll put up with the pain, because it's a good kind of pain. It's for my kid. Plus, it totally makes me look like an official mom. And so, if I look tired and crazy, people will understand why.
This is just an original advertisement, right? That was also put on YouTube. What happens what happens is that mothers that were actually carrying their babies in slings were completely shocked and by this advertisement, because they say, what about this? And I'll show you, for example, what they say. And there's many ads about this. Like this? Okay. Etc., etc., etc. So this was just what was on the this was comments written. There's also many videos of mothers that testify how gratifying it is to have their kids in their personal slings, and how Motrin really misunderstood themselves. And again, if you go to the reader and you look in the report of the global online mediascape, they talk about this mistake of Motrin, and they show you how Motrin was talked about on the web before the whole crisis, so to say, and then a lot of the terminology were medical, very positive. They did the same analysis after the crisis, and then the only thing indeed that pops up is how stupid Motrin has misunderstood them. Another example is this video. Maybe you've seen this one.
Hi, my name is Kaan, and I'm from Denmark. And this here is my baby boy. His name is August. Yeah, I'm doing this video because I'm trying to find August's father. So if you're out there and you see this, then this is for you. We met 1.5 years ago when you were on vacation here in Denmark, and we met at the Custom House bar. I was on my way home, and I think you had lost your friend, and then we decided to go down to the water to have a drink. And yeah, that's really embarrassing, but that's more or less what I remember. I don't remember where you're from, or I don't even remember your name. I do remember though that we were talking about Denmark, and the thing we have here with Hygge that foreign people always ask about, and that's, yeah, you were really nice. So I guess I decided to show you what Hygge is all about, because we went back to my house, and yeah, we ended up having sex. and the next morning when I woke up, you were gone. It's not that I blame you for anything, and I'm not crazy, or this is not some kind of obsession that I have with you. I just really, really want to let you know that that August is here, that he exists. I feel I owe it to both you and to him. Yeah. And also, I want to let you know that I'm not a bimbo or something like that. I know that August is yours because I haven't been with anybody else since that night. Yeah.
Well, etc., etc. So this video was put online on one Thursday, and within a matter of days there is 600,000 people that actually watch it, and everybody is very, very supportive of Karen, hoping that she will find a father. However, again, pretty soon there's also people in the blogosphere, so to say, that felt that maybe it was not completely true, and they, again, with Sony as PSP, they try to find out who put the video online, and then they find out that it is the Danish tourist office that in the order of copying Australia like the best job in the world, they've the best fuck in the world, and they came up with this idea of putting this video there. So they completely, again, it's walking this thin line. With viral videos, in the end, it's really walking a thin line of be authentic, because this is what people want. They want you to be authentic, and then you try to be authentic, but it is fake too, right? It is fake. It is the same issue with Sony. So don't do that. The video was taken off, so indeed it is a copy of thing. Finally, I want to show you one other thing that really went wrong.
I may add something about this video, actually. You know that many people answer and say, that's me.
Yeah. So one other thing. Sorry? Yeah. Everybody, of course, yeah. Again, the Danish tourism got what they wanted, right? Because there was a buzz around it. However, it was also a negative buzz because Danish women felt offended by this video. And then again, there is other examples with Iceland Air that has done more or less the same thing, with putting videos out there on tips on how to date Icelandic women, and these are also a bit denigrating. And again, there is, but it is clear that with these videos, it is Iceland Air that is behind it, and then it goes. Okay, people talk about it negatively, but it goes here. The whole buzz, and which made it an international buzz, was that it was put up there as true, while in the end it was fake. So now, time for a little bit more video about Domino's Pizza. Have you heard about that one? Let me see, where do I have it? Oh, shit, can I not find it anymore? No.
Hi, my name is Karen.
Here she is again.
And this is
It's good, huh?
His name is
No, this is the reply.
Hello,
No,
I'm Patrick Doyle, president of Dom.
Okay, guys. So this is indeed again to show you that how spoofs really work and how people try to go on the success of someone else. Let me see, because I had it yesterday still. So did they take it out just right now? Well, anyway, maybe I don't even need to see you because it's really pretty gross. Maybe you have heard about it. It is Domino's employees that film themselves preparing pizzas and farting on the pizzas and putting snot on the pizzas and everything. Gross, 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 gross. So Domino's, of course, faces themselves with a huge negative buzz that they definitely need to react to. So they did so, I think, pretty funnily or nicely, correctly, because they also used the same media, and that is the one I do have here for you, which is, of course, less funny. but maybe
Hello,
worth looking at it
I'm
anyway.
Patrick Doyle, president of Domino's USA. Recently, we discovered a video of two Domino's team members who thought that their acts would be a funny YouTube hoax. We sincerely apologize for this incident. We thank members of the online community who quickly alerted us and allowed us to take immediate action. Although the individuals in question claim it's a hoax, we are taking this incredibly seriously. This was an isolated incident in Conover, North Carolina. The two team members have been dismissed, and there are felony warrants out for their arrest. The store has been shut down and sanitized from top to bottom. There is nothing more important or sacred to us than our customers' trust. We're re-examining all of our hiring practices to make sure that people like this don't make it into our stores. We have auditors across the country in our stores every day of the week, making sure that our stores are as clean as they can possibly be and that we're delivering high-quality food to our customers day in and day out. The independent owner of that store is reeling from the damage that this has caused, and it's not a surprise that this has caused a lot of damage to our brand. It sickens me that the actions of two individuals could impact our great system, where 125,000 men and women work for local business owners around the U.S. and more than 60 countries around the world. We take tremendous pride in crafting delicious food that they deliver to you every day. There are so many people who have come forward with messages of support for us, and we want to thank you for hanging in there with us as we work to regain your trust. Thank you.
This is not too bad, huh? He really addresses the issue. Well, if you want, you need to go and look on YouTube yourself for these disgusting videos. You know why he was indeed sickened by it. And what happens in the end with this whole negative buzz is that a lot of bloggers or media outlets that have talked about it, they maybe put up there the videos of the disgusting people, but they also, a lot of them included this video. So it did get spread out at the same time. And Domino in the end did react very, very rapidly. And also here they they give credit to their people, to their supporters. So I think this is maybe the best way to deal with that. So what do we learn from all these examples? In first with the Motrin pain reliever, the basic lesson of marketing is you need to understand your target audience, and that is what they didn't do. The second with Danish women, in the end you cannot deceive. You can denigrate, you can get away with that, but you cannot deceive. And then the Domino's pizza example really shows us that any company nowadays needs to have social media guidelines and principles in place that more or less spells out to your employees what is accepted and what is not accepted. Because before you know it, indeed, you have these two employees that joke around. It was a joke, but with negative effects. Business Week had listed some of strategies to avert this negative buzz, among them being engaging your critics, and that is indeed opening a blog and already having the conversation there, because if you have something like this, if you make it very, very easy for people to contact you, then indeed in case of a hoax like Domino's was facing, indeed you can hear about it directly. People will let you know, and people will also give you support there. So that is one way to do it. Be vigilant, we already addressed that. Indeed, you want to monitor what is being said about your brand constantly. You want to react directly, so replace this no comment. You remember that last week we talked about still the kryptonite debacle, so to say, where the first reaction was, oh no, our kryptonite blogs, there's nothing wrong with that. That is not a good idea. Also in the end, of course there will be negative buzz or negative word, let's say negative word of mouth. There will be also always people out there that say negative things about you, and because you can monitor it, there's a lot of managers or companies, CEOs that get really frustrated by this, because they put all their soul in this company, and how does anybody else dare to say something about it? To give you a little bit of an insight of what happened here within HEC, is HEC of course is also in Wikipedia, and people write things about the school. There were some senior faculty here that were completely upset about what was written there on Wikipedia, because how does anybody else have the right to say anything about HEC that has not actually been already 30 years in the school like me? So he tried to change what was said, and that was of course not a good idea. Actually, and there was not even said anything negative, it was just in his eyes not correct. So definitely you cannot control it. It goes back to the other thing that we said. You cannot control it, and you cannot definitely not overreact. Finally, the last 5-10 minutes, I want to talk a little bit more about this power of context, the timing issue, this idea of making sure that whenever you have a message out there and you choose a channel, you choose a messenger, you make sure that it all fits. And a lot of the negative things that we have seen occurring in recent years is just because a lot of companies have not really understood yet how these social media are working. So they haven't really done their homework, so to say. They haven't investigated enough in how things work. And a good example of a company that definitely did not match the message with the venue was Habitat, that decided to go on Twitter. You've heard about this negative buzz. They use these hashtags that help people find what tweets are about, and they used hashtags that were very popular but that had nothing to do with Habitat. And instead of writing anything interesting, they used this to put a promotional content thing there. Nothing personal, nothing relevant. It was promotional content. And that was a complete misunderstanding of how Twitter is actually working. Of course, Habitat jumps on this and they say, okay, it was actually an intern that was making this mistake and we fired this intern and stuff like this. But Habitat, no. I'm sorry, you cannot make these kind of mistakes. And in Habitat is having interns taking care of these kind of things. They indeed completely misunderstand the online social landscape, the online media landscape nowadays. So it's important also, I think about the population, whenever you choose a venue, who is the possible people that you're going to reach, the audience is the actual people that you're going to reach, and definitely invest in understanding the rules of the venue that you choose. Yes? So it is Habitat that decided to use Twitter to, it's like what is happening a lot of times. You have all these traditional companies, as far as also now saying, okay, we need to do something with this social media, we need to be Facebook, we need to be in Twitter, and they have no idea really how it works, and they haven't done. I'm not even saying that I know exactly how Twitters work. I've never Twittered, so there's probably rules of the game that I'm not aware of. And basically, what you need to do with these kind of tools is you need to spend at least some time, and that is, for example, the opportunity I'm giving you now within the context of this course, to spend a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, whatever. You need to spend some time observing and seeing what is going on. What are the norms within a certain community? And in Twitter, for sure, Twitter is not used for commercial messages, or that is not. And the mistake they made even here is that they have these hashtags that help. And if someone else can explain it better than me, please help me out here. That help you find tweets that will talk about a certain subject. So, for example, in this case, at the time that Habitat made the mistake, there was a lot of tweets about the Iranian election, and the hashtag that was used for that was, it's not here, Musafi. So hashtag Musafi. So then if you want to have tweets about that, you type that and then you can find it. So they use that, the Musafi thing, and then they put their commercial message out there. That was a complete misunderstanding of the norms of what you should do. So that is the message here. The timing and the context is important, but also just basic understanding of how each venue works and how the users of that venue expect you to behave. The basic idea here with the social media is that, as I already explained last week, it's no longer you as the company that is in charge, that is the king on his throne with the traditional media that decides what is the message, what are the channels, la 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 la. If you're making use of social media, so to say, you enter in people's living rooms, and then it is you to adapt to that, rather than coming there and do your own little traditional old-fashioned marketing trick. We've mentioned it a couple of times throughout the lecture today, but the role of traditional media is very, very important still in, for example, getting this video going viral. Nielsen, for example, has some numbers there. So the most buzzed about new consumer product goods actually also were the ones that already received most media support. And again, we talked about that last week. Someone asked me about that as well. And in the report again, you find some information about where do I have it? The chart about the brand recall and the ad recall. Where is it? Where is it? Here, it's on page number 8 in the Nielsen Global Online Media Landscape. I couldn't put it in a thing. So if you have brand recall and message recall with TV and online things, then indeed there is a significant difference than when you only have the television, for example. Well, actually there the reasoning is a little bit the other way around. Bottom line, if you want to increase again the word of mouth, if you want to increase the exposure, if you want to increase the chances of exposure, you do also want to invest in the traditional media. TalkTrack is a system that tracks conversations of consumers, word of mouth conversations. I talk about that in the podcast. And also they find that 50% of the conversations in which brands are mentioned also mention one way or the other a traditional media. Well, to end the course today, I think it's interesting to look at an example that did it right, and it nicely kind of sums up all the aspects that we've been addressing today. It is McDonald's, so we stay in the hamburger atmosphere, that won the WOMI Award, and WOMI Award is an award for the best word of mouth marketing campaign that is awarded by the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. So the challenge that McDonald's was facing was the launch of a new chicken hamburger, Southern Child chicken hamburger, and then that was a product item that was aimed to be served at breakfast. Then the challenge, of course, that they were facing is how can you get people to actually consider eating a chicken hamburger for breakfast instead of the traditional eggs. What did they do? And there it is, this idea of the high concept. They came up with the idea of the chicken versus the egg debate. And I think there may be, you see that a lot of these companies also kind of copy each other in terms of the creative output. If you have the Burger King that has the subservient chicken, maybe here they're all copying things a little bit. So what they had is they had the what came first micro website. That was one important part of the campaign. The other important part of the campaign was a national sampling day where people could get a free chicken burger to make a tryout. And I'll show you the website. If I can access it, where is it? No. What can I say? Doesn't matter, I'll find it. Okay, so my birthday. You will know a lot about me. Ooh, how old I am. How young. Up. Remember, make it simple and easy. Select your dancer. Oh, is it working? Let's go. So, you want me to be the chicken or the egg? Chicken. Okay. Next. Select an image. Browse. Now we see how simple it is. Oh, it's not that simple. Well, it is pretty simple, but here we're starting to be in the time limit, right? Was it under 4 minutes? Otherwise we lose interest. We lose interest. Are we starting to lose interest? I'm almost starting to lose interest here. Huh? They better be quick now. Oh dear. That doesn't make it do? Okay. Too bad, too bad, too bad, too bad, too bad. Oh no. Refresh. Does that work? Oh, now it's completely lost. Now I killed it, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now it's completely stuck. Now it is complete. Now it's completely loose. Let's try it from here. Oh, first one. Yeah, submit, it's good. Next, you can do it. So, what do you want me to dance? What do you want me to dance on? Hip-hop. What are the moves that you want me to make? First stop. Oh, wait. Top. Disco. Robot. Twist. And so I don't win. Too bad. Instant replay, try new moves, send to a friend, challenge a friend. So it is personal, it is social, because you can also do the contest with someone else. They didn't only do this because indeed maybe it doesn't work. Then you can still go to his website and see some things, which was America Speaks. A little bit again in the idea of the Whopper Challenge, I would say, where they say the Whopper is not available anymore.
Got my beautiful girl Roxy in the building, and we're in the street to find out a very important question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Chicken came first.
The egg came first.
See, chicken.
It's going to be the egg. So what do you think came first, the chicken or the egg?
Definitely the chicken. Definitely.
Oh, the egg. The egg had to come first. The egg come from the egg.
The egg.
chicken? The egg.
Chicken's the egg, huh? No, the chicken. Chicken lays the egg.
So where did the chicken come from?
The mother?
I say the chicken. It's the chicken.
Team Chicken is in the building.
No.
I love chicken morning, afternoon, evening, and night. I would definitely eat it for breakfast. For breakfast, what do you think you're going to have? Eggs or chicken?
Eggs. I like chicken for breakfast. I usually do eggs. Chicken sounds good. Eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah.
Eggs all the way. I need some eggs for breakfast.
We want to change their mind about eating eggs in the morning.
Well, you can look at that a little bit more. What was very good about this campaign, of course, is that it was also put into a much larger campaign, where they had, in order to get people to go to this website, they didn't just do it online, they took everything. So what they did is they had this national event, like a chicken day. Yes, there I am. They used Wikipedia, Twitter, and all these things to increase awareness about the National Chicken Day. They had dancers in front of national television stations dancing like a chicken, and that is, of course, the best way to get attention from traditional media that was picking it up, and that, in that sense, allowed, that increased the awareness, and that attracted people to the website. And they also had, in New York City, street dancers that did these moves of and they did it in a funny way, and then they gave away free T-shirts and other kind of gifts, again, to increase traffic to the website. Also very important is their influencers, they enlisted their employees, because in the end, in order to get people convinced that they should choose this chicken, you have there all these people serving at McDonald's, and if they tell their customers that it is a good idea to eat this chicken, then that is a great help. So they tried to make the word of mouth around this particular target as well, allowing them to come up with, on the McDonald's intranet website, uploading videos where they themselves dance like a chicken, and then, of course, they had the blogger outreach. That was their influencers campaign, where they picked people that were the brand influentials, people that love McDonald's, because they are the ones that are going to recommend it. Anyway, every single McDonald's make, they will say, you need to try it. And then they also had people that maybe were more social influencers or relevant social influencers, people that really didn't have a lot of time, and then in that sense could be convinced that this chicken sandwich was a good way to still have some breakfast. The campaign was very successful. I'm sorry, here they have some numbers. In terms of attracting visitors, I do not have any information in how in the end the chicken sandwich was adopted, yes or no. But at least it created the buzz that they wanted. Now, here I have some things to sum it up, but we let out of that. I want to draw your attention to the following. Tonight, between 8 and 9, there is a webinar that will talk about creating and energizing brand advocates, and that's a very nice complement to what we're discussing here in the class. It's a free webinar that is hosted by the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. So here you have the, well, actually, if you just go to the Word of Mouth Marketing Association and you look at events, you're able to find it too. You can subscribe. Then you get a link, and at 8 o'clock tonight you log in and you follow the webinar. So basically what you just need is a headset, or actually no, you can also just, if you have a sound on your computer, which you have of course, you can do it like this. So it lasts 1 hour, and I followed a couple of their webinars, and well, they're not all as good, but there's a couple of really nice ones, and I think what they're addressing in this particular webinar is very, very interesting. So go and check it out. We'll see each other again only on November 25. We will continue to talk about word-of-mouth marketing. For this particular class, I ask all of you to read the Unme Jeans case that you'll find in the reader, and remember that if as your team you decide to pick this case to prepare a report about, I need to have the case in my email box before the start of the class. Yeah?
Please visit us at www.atc.edu.